Hey guys, so my good friends at Highlands Corned Beef asked me to show you guys how to do a proper corned beef hash. And I know that people have different ways of doing it. So we've got some Highlands corned beef right here, which we're gonna dry out into a pan with some onions. Then I have a tomato and a salted egg, little salsa tomato thing going on. And then we have some marinated pickled serrano chilies in here. And then we're gonna have some extreme garlic rice with a lot of different garlics. And the most important thing in a hash, obviously, is the potato. Right now, it's actually boiling already. Once it's boiled, cut it in two, smash it, put it in a pan. It'll work absolutely perfectly. So let's just get started first with the tomato. Just gonna slice that up very easily into a quick dice. It's just really to help balance out the richness and the fattiness of that corned beef. And then I'm gonna chop our egg on here as well. Obviously, this is already very extremely salty, so what you want to make sure is when you put it with the tomato, it just gives it that nice richness, so you don't have to add any additional seasoning to it. So I'm going to give that a nice dirty quick chop as well. So I'm going to put that with my tomato, maybe just half of it should be enough, just to get that nice balance. I'm going to take some of my pickled serrano. So we have a nice spicy relish in here. Now we're going to move on to our garlic rice, a Filipino staple. I like to use half a clove of garlic so I really get that nice garlicky taste. I take rice that's actually quite sticky, so kind of overcooked. I'm gonna give that a quick chop. I want it nice and fine, nicely diced so that you don't really bite into anything too intense. So I'm just gonna grab one onion and I'm gonna give that a nice dice as well. This will go in with the corned beef. If you cut it a little bit smaller, it retains less water and you can actually get that crispy corned beef that you're looking for. So once all my elements are ready, I got my garlic, I got my little tomatillo with my serrano chilies, I got my onions, I got my rice. We're getting our potatoes, which have been boiling for about 10 minutes just to get them nice and soft. They don't have to be cooked through because we're gonna recook them again. What we wanna do is cut it in two. So we're just gonna squash it lightly. We're gonna run through with our knife just a little bit because I want some of those finer peels of potato, the finer smashed potatoes like those to get nice and crispy, and I want these to retain the actual size of a proper diced potato. Okay, all our elements are basically ready, so we're just gonna move on to the stove and cook everything separately. What we're looking to do is use different pans for different elements of the dish so I can cook everything to the perfect textures I wanted them to be. And put in my onions, get that nice and crispy. My other pan over here I'm gonna use for the potatoes. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my garlic, add that, brown it just a tad bit first. On the onions, I'm looking for color. I'm not looking for translucency. I'm looking for something that's actually nice and caramelized. Once my garlic is slightly colored, what I'm gonna do is add my potato in here. Again, I don't wanna overcrowd the pan, so what I'm looking to do is probably get it to fill half the pan, and I'm gonna flatten that out. And I just wanna get that nice and crisp on both sides. Once my onions have a nice color to them, in goes the corned beef. I'm gonna make a little room for it in the center. What I love about this can is the easy to use opener, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Put that inside. I'm gonna let that fat come out so that it kind of just helps fry itself and get nice and crispy. I wanna make it flat as much as possible and try to separate it as much as possible. And again, this time I'm not gonna flip it around continuously. I'm gonna leave it flat and wait for it to get crispy on one side, flip it all together, wait till it gets crispy on the other side, and kind of just attach everything. So now my potatoes are exactly where I want them to be, and I'm gonna leave it again on another side by flattening it, just to make sure that it gets as crispy on each side. Same thing goes for my corned beef. I'm gonna flip it to get it crispy on the other side. If you see, they're nice golden and crispy on each side. Put that to the side. Take my pan out for my rice, put all my garlic, and get that nice and brown as well. I'm gonna flip my corned beef again. I like a mixture of nice burnt crispy sides, and now I'm gonna fry my egg into, again, a pan that's made for eggs so you get that nice shape and it cooks evenly. Once my garlic is nice and brown, take my rice. I'm gonna take about half a cup, put it in there, kind of squash it, and make sure it's all separated so that the garlic goes in between each grain of rice. I put a salt on the garlic rice, a little bit on the egg, and obviously a little bit in my potatoes as well. When I'm cooking a fried egg, what I like to do usually is just put a little cover right on top of the whole stove. It just really helps coat the top of it. And everything is basically ready to go. So now it's all about combining everything into a bowl. So I'm gonna start with the rice. Everything should just slide off. Then potatoes on the side. Then I'm gonna take my one portion of corned beef. My egg, which should have the nice color texture I was talking about. So that nice film that cooks it right on top as well. So that goes right in the middle there. And then finally, finish everything with our little tomatillo salsa right on the side. And ladies and gentlemen, there is the perfect crispy corned beef hash. So what you want to try to do is get a little bit of everything into one bite. Also, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out my other breakfast videos, which will pop up in a second. Absolutely delicious. Corned beef was actually my go-to ingredient when I was in college. I'd be so lazy to cook anything else. And I just ate that at like 2 in the morning. It was absolutely fantastic.